All right. So on this one, which sample is best to find out how many movies people see each month? Should you, it's one of these two, should you ask the people online at a movie theater, or should you call every 10th person in a phone book?
A.
A.
I feel like it's B now. You just like silent. A. But why? I said B, guys.
Because they want to know from the general population. In other words, even if they took all of us, how many movies do you see? I might not see any. You might see 2, you might see 3. But all the people standing in line at a movie theater are going to be skewed to saying, yes, they watch more movies because there they are at the movie. So that's not a balanced sample. A balanced sample. What?
What's the answer to that? If you were to ask all the people like the movie theater, you find out every day.
Okay, no. You don't understand then what a sample is. A random sample. A random sample is I pick random people and I look at how many people are seeing movies. Maybe I'm a movie producer and I'm going to pick general people to see if there's anything I can do, maybe in advertising, to get more people there. I already know these people are going to be seeing movies. So that is not a random sample. This would be the best one. You call every 10th person. Then, that's it. Okay. What type of graph would best display the percent of students in class who play musical instruments? What was the kind of graph that we saw?
Pie graph.
A pie graph or a circle graph. Very good. So usually the percents are in a circle graph.
Is there a difference between a pie chart and a pie graph?
No, but we usually call it circle graph. Okay. Then, so you might have to read something like this. Oh, this is interesting. So here is the supporters of this candidate, and this looks like they took a survey. Is the people that wanted this candidate is this many, the one that wanted other is this many. Using the tally chart at the right, how many, it is on that board. Okay, listen carefully. How many of the people will not vote for Anderson? You're absolutely right. It is not on there. So who has an idea?
Please don't tell me.
Well, you're exactly right. Of course it is. We're going to look at our sample. So let's go over here. First thing that you've got to do with all of these is get a what? Well, in fact, let's look at each group. Let's get a total of each individual first. How many people wanted Miller? 15, 5, 10, because those are in groups of 5. So 15. How many people wanted Anderson? 5, 10, 15, 20,
26.
25, 26. How many people wanted other? Is 9. Now you have to, okay, boys and girls, quiet down, please. Now you have to get a total. So this is 5 and 6 is 11, and 9 more is 20. And then we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, okay, sir. What is your question? Okay, you add them, it doesn't matter. It adds to 50. You add it the way you want, it better come to 50. Then you're going to set up ratio and proportion. So, based on our sample only, how many did not vote for Anderson?
Wait, I have a question.
Okay, let's answer my question first.
29?
Is what?
29.
Stop the tapping, please. It's not?
29. 26.
Oh, people. Thank you, Fred. It's 24. It's these did not want Anderson. How many people? Okay, hold on. Stop talking, please, over me. It says How many will not vote for Anderson? These people will not, and these people will not. How many is that? 15 and 9. It's 24. So it's 24 out of what total? So you will have to do this on the test. I'm suspecting the test probably will be Thursday or Friday. So it's going to be 24 did not vote for Anderson out of a total of 50. Okay. Then it says, how many of the 2,575 people will not vote for Anderson? Well, when it says out of, it means out of that total. Where do you think I'm going to put that amount over here? On the bottom. 2,575. Now I will say, and these are the people, the actual people. This is our sample population. This is our actual population. I will probably not give you a number that big to work with, but we'll go ahead and work this one now. Double. I do know a way that I can divide. How can I, when I divide, how can I divide by 100 and not 50? Yeah, you can double it. You can manipulate this. So I'm going to make it a 48 over 100. And then it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. And so I do have a little bit of work in the multiplication, but it's much better than dividing. So 2,575. So that's going to be, and I have a feeling we will not even get through this review today. So for sure, the test is not tomorrow. So 56, 60. And that's going to be 46. This is going to be 16, 20. We're done with that. And double check my multiplication and addition. Tell me if you got the same answer. Okay, awesome. So that is then 100n is equal to 123,600. And then what do we have to do? Well, I have to move the 100 first to get it over there. So again, divide, and this is precisely why we doubled that, because 100 is easy to work with. And then I'm going to put a decimal at the end. I could have just chopped off 2 zeros, but get used to just moving it over twice. Now it's a 1, moving it over twice. So about how many people can we expect will not vote for him? 1,236. And in fact, that 24 is just about half of that 50. This amount here is just about half of that amount. So that is reasonable. So 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. All right. But let's go on. So the number 4. Name the outlier. Okay. Who knows what an outlier is? Well, it's the dot that's way out. You're right. It's the dot that just doesn't seem to fit. So which number doesn't seem to fit?
16.
The 16. So that is the outlier. And it now says, because if I found the mean with this number, it's going to skew everything to a higher mean or a higher average. So we don't want that to happen. So it says, now that you've named the outlier, then find the mean, median, mode, and range without that outlier. So we're going to use these three. The first thing, when you have any data at all, Matthew, could you go back over there? You don't need to be sitting right behind him. Alrighty. So I would put at least to greatest. Yeah. So I would go 2, and there's how many 4s?
3.
1, 2, 3, and then there's a 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And always double check that you've got the same amount of digits. So I'll do the mean the last. The mode. What is the mode?
4.
The one that appears the most is 4. So the mode is 4. And then the other one that's easy is the median.
4.
It's also smack dab in the middle. It is 4. So the median is 4. And then the other one that is easy is home on the range. How big is my ranch?
4.
Yeah, it's the largest minus the smallest. It is also 4. And again, that 16 would have really thrown it off. And then, how do we find our mean or the average?
I don't know.
Add them all up. So let's see if we, oh, this is easy. So 8 and 8, no, 4 and 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And this is another 10, 4 and 6. So 10 and 10 is 20. And we divide it by what? Dude, we divide it by what? 5. And it's 4. So it happens to be, and had we used the outlier, do you think we would have gotten 4 on everything?
No.
No, it would have thrown all our numbers off. So sometimes you want to get rid of that. It would have thrown off the range because it would have been 16 minus 2. Yeah. And it wouldn't have thrown off our, well, it doesn't matter. So this ends up being 4. So 4 was for our range, and the mean was also 4. Okay. Then and then alrighty, then it says here, it says during what game, okay, so here's game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, between Heather and Christine. These are their points scored. During which game was the greatest difference between the number of points of Heather and Christine scored? Yeah, do I have to put numbers over each of them? No, because you can just look, this is a small difference, there's no difference. This is a larger difference, but not a big difference. Here is the largest difference. So the largest difference, the greatest difference was game 4. Okay. Then find the mean, median, mode, and range of Heather's points. So who is Heather? Heather is, it's the lighter one. So Heather, this one is what? 14. Heather's is what on this one? 13. And she's what on this one? No, it's right here. 6, and it's right in between the 6 and the 8, so it's going to be 7.
11.
And on this, is it 11?
Oh, no, that was 16.
Yeah, so this is 16.
I thought you were doing the next one. Sorry.
All right, Fred, be quiet. All right, so on this one, let's line them up from least to greatest. So this is number 6. The least is 7. The next one is what? Is 13. Then 14. Then 16. Okay. In fact, I'm going to go in the same order. Is there a mode?
No. Wait, wouldn't we get rid of an outlier?
No, they didn't say it on this one. So we're going to keep it. So is there a mode?
No. No.
Does anyone appear more than another? No. So there is none. And then the median.
Oh, that's 13.5.
So the median, if I had a middle, it would be right here. Do we know it's in between $13 and $14? 13.5. If it was like 13 and 17, I might have had to add them up and then divide by 2. And then the range,
That's a cool.
how do you find the range?
Smallest.
16 minus 7.
The highest minus the smallest, which is 9. Okay. All right, then. And by the way, you know, talking about an outlier, she had a high score of this, but a low score of that. So they sort of balance out. So you wouldn't get rid of either of them. And then the average mean, what do we have to do with those numbers? So this comes to 20, and this is 30. So 30 and 20 is 50, divided by what?
4.
How many numbers are we adding? 4.
12.5.
Hold on. So 4 goes into this once. Right, goes into that twice. So you can either bring this up as a fraction, or you can continue, if you see it's going to come out, you can continue as a decimal by adding a decimal 0. And 4 goes into that how many times? Okay. And so, you know, it's leaning on the lower side, but that's okay. Her mean is 12.5. Then, alrighty. Then number, we got that? Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Make a stem and leaf chart. You could do it. It's not that hard. So that's why we're doing it now. So number 7. And they're not telling us what it's about, but okay. So here is the stem.
Oh, I get it.
And here's the leaf. And who knows our lowest number?
32.
So we have something in the 30s, and then our highest is in the what? 60. So we need to list our front number, which is 30, 40, 50, and 60. And then I need to go in order, make sure these are in order. I've got how many in the 30s?
2.
So I've got a 32 and an 8. So who knows what I'm going to put right here?
8.
A 2 and then an 8. And I would maybe separate them. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on just a second.
I want to get water.
I'm setting down now. I forgot to do that before. Let me see, Mason. No, let me see, Mason.
I got it.
Okay, Christian. Go take these down to Miss Yadi.
Can I help him?
No, take the elevator. So then, all right, then, no, you don't need to. He's going on the elevator. All right, so then on this one, where are we? So it's going to be the 2 and the 8, and then we go to the 40s. How many 40s do we have? Just 1, 2. So what are the numbers on my list here? 1 and 6. And if you put them far apart, you don't have to put a comma. But just to be sure, I'm going to put a 1 and 6. And then we're at the 50s. So how many in the 50s do we have? I don't see 2.
52.
Oh, a 2. Okay, yeah. So we just have the 1, which is a 2. And then we've got
4, 7, and 8.
4, 7, and 8. You are correct. 4, 7, and 8. And if you did this, would you be able to find, there's no mode. Would you be able to find the median? It's not asking you, but probably on the test you will.
Hey, I forgot to give my new folder. Well, no, I didn't.
Okay, don't worry about it. So how would you find the median?
Or you put it from least to greatest, the numbers.
Yeah, you could put it from, Least to greatest, no hood, please. Get it on. All right. Or I could start gently. I'm going to put like a little dot here. That's my least. That's my greatest. Here's my next least, and that's my next greatest. My next least is this one, and my next greatest is this one.
No, it's one. It's not the six.
This is my neck. You're right. It's this one. So I kind of messed up on that. So candy for that. So that was my next one. So my two left over are the 46 and the 52. So again, 46 and 52, because that is a mistake. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's an even amount. So that's how I could do it without lining them up. How then would I get the median for these numbers?
48.
You do a rough estimation.
You don't do a rough estimation at all. You add them up. So it's 90. You add them up. It's 98. And divide it by 2. And it would be 49.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I said 48. No.
Close enough.
Okay. No, it's not close enough. You'll get the answer wrong.
That's why I said 49.
So again, you add them up, and there's no mode. And to find the mean, we'd have to actually add them up and divide by 8, but we're not going to do that right now. Could I find from this easily the range?
Yeah.
And what would?
8 minus 30.
It's going to be 68. That's the largest minus the smallest, which is 32. And so that's going to be 30. Is that 36? 36. Okay. So C paper. And I forgot to put.
Wait, were we supposed to find the range?
No, but I needed you to know how to do that. All right.
Median was 26.
Yeah, make sure you show your work. And I forgot to do these here. It was, this one was the mode was none. The median was 13.5. The range was 9. And the mean was 12.5. I didn't put the answers for Heather. Okay. That was fast.
Yeah, she told me to wait for a while. She got them ready, so.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Alrighty. And then it says, let's go ahead and look at this one. It says, we're not going to do this. This would take us forever. It says use the table at the right to do 8 through 10. Oh, they want us to compare. You're not going to have to do that. First of all, if I had intervals of 2, think about that. I want to see if somebody can answer me. Matthew, get your head up, honey. If I had intervals of 2, who knows how many little bars I would need, how many sections for this one right here?
So what number?
Yeah.
It's do you see right here? If I had everything in right now, they're in intervals of 4.
6. For each one.
Okay, but if you're just shouting out numbers, then you don't know what you're doing.
12. It's 12.
What's my highest category?
25.
25, but I'm going to add one to make it an even number. So it's 26. Okay, shh. It's 26, and if I have intervals of 2,
13.
I would divide it by 2. I would need 13 sections. In other words, okay, I would need 0 to 1, 2 to 3. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to have you do that. But we will, so we're not going to do this, that number 8. We're not going to do the 10. But we will take this, let me see if I can group this off, and do it in intervals of 10. So we're going to do, how many would I need?
2.
Hold on. Round this up so a 10 will go into it.
3.
So make it a 30, and then divide it by 10. I would need 3 sections. So one of the sections is going to be 0 to 9. Who thinks they know the next section?
10 to 20.
10 to 20. And then anything after is 21 to 30. Okay, so 21 to 30. So this one we'll go ahead and draw, because you may have one of those on the test, I don't know. Okay, there. All I did was, if they wanted intervals of 2, I need to round this to an even number and divide by 2. Okay. I'm not turning it over to the back, so try to keep up. Matthew, get focused. If I'm doing this in intervals of 10, I'm going to round my last one up to a number divisible by 10. So I'd round that up to 30, and divide it by 10. I would need 3 bars. So I'm going to need 3. So we're going to go ahead and do this graph the best we can. So I'm going to go ahead and put over here, this is just for the number 9. Okay. And who knows where the number of books read is going to go? On the left or on the bottom?
Bottom.
The bottom. Usually this is your X and this is your Y. And an X usually is along the sidewalk and the Y is going up and down. So I need my number of books read down here, and we already said it's going to be in intervals of 10. So I'm just going to make little notches here, and I'll keep one at the end, and we'll finish the second. So my first one is going to be, make sure you put books read. And if it's an interval of 10, it's going to be 0 to what? How are we going to relabel that?
30.
How am I going to relabel this right here, this first section?
0 to 10.
Not 0 to 10. It's 0 to
9.
9. So that's the first one. The second section is going to read 10 to what?
20.
We're going to do 10 to 20. And the last one is going to be, no, because we don't have the information on, like, is this a 14? No, we're just going to do it 10 to 20. And then the other one is 21 to 30. Or 20, I'll say 21. They're not really telling us the highest, 21 and above.
That makes sense.
Okay, and then, so then we've got to figure out how are we going to do the side on the people. So we could do it in increments of 5, 10, 15, 20. That's not going to give us very much to work with. But that's about all I have, so we could do that. The biggest one is 18. We could do it in units of 3, 6, 9, 12, and that would be too big. Let's use 5. So here is 5. This is going to be 10. This is going to be 15. And here's, by the way, 0 at the bottom. 15 and 20. And then, so how many people are there all together?
30.
Listen to my question. How many people read between 0 and 9 books?
17.
17, these two. So I'm going to go up on the graph, and we're going to go in between here somewhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. And draw a line just about to here, and then I'm going to connect this down. So, and on the histogram, the bars are touching each other. All right, then, so get that down. Then we're going to go down to the 10 to 20. We're going to go down to the 10 to 20. How many people read books? 10 to 20 books.
That's above 20.
Many people.
10 to 20 only.
33.
Oh.
Thank you, Sam. So 10 to 20 are these two, and that comes to 33. Oh, and so I actually need more numbers here because I didn't account for the adding. So that's 20, 25, and 30. And I actually need one more. Whoops. Okay, good thing I didn't do it in units of 3. So 33, I'm going to have to open my paper here. So 33 is going to go way up to about the middle, between 30 and 35, over to this part. Fred, control yourself. Okay. So, that many people, about 33 read between 10 to 20 books. Do you see why I didn't want to do intervals of 2? Oh, that would have been awful. And it wouldn't have told us a lot either, you know, when you've got that many intervals. Then, the last group is 21 and over.
15.
Is 15. So 5, 10, 15 right here. So then you can see who read the most, what they read. The most people read 10 to 20 books. And on this one, see paper. Well, we have enough to stop and take a break. And use, okay, keep this until tomorrow. So we obviously will not have a test mark because we've got all of that to cover. Keep your work together. If you need to staple it now, I've got a stapler right here. Matthew, yes, hurry
Do we
up.
have to keep our work?
You have to keep the work, yeah.
Okay. I don't think, do we have to finish anything?
No, you don't have to finish anything. But you do have to turn this in tomorrow or the next day. So I would say, no, bring it back with you.
Where's the...
The stapler's right there.
Okay.